Hi, my name is Milo. I directed Singularity, and now we're gonna go behind the scenes. I got the idea watching Ghost in the Shell, and I always found that the geisha robot with the mechanical face was a bit of an underexploited character. I've always found the design fascinating. I love Ash Thorpe's concept arts for the live action remake, so I got this idea for a very short film of an AI becoming sentient, and the little twist would be that she would be hiding it from everyone. I thought it was an interesting idea because it's very different from the AI takes over the world thing, which could potentially happen, but I deeply think that if an AI became sentient, it would be much more strategical with its choices. So I think it was an interesting character. And the other idea was to symbolize everything through Go, which I think is a very interesting game visually and philosophically, because there's this idea of balance, of black and white, of good and evil. So I think it was a good way of visualizing that fight between humanity and artificial intelligence. So when I had that little script done, I gathered a lot of reference online in books to really pinpoint what I was going after and what would tell the story the best. From that, I drew a very basic storyboard. I really wanted to keep it simple and minimal. Then I jumped straight into Blender and did a previous version. It's really the way most animation studios work. It's a very simple blocking phase, which gives you many information about how you're going to do the film. You can validate a cut, an early cut from there. And also I had the important information of the number of frames that I needed to work on over each shot. It's very important because when you have no budget like me, rendering frames take a long time, so you have to be really precise about what you want to do. So the production phase began. Regarding the character design, I was very inspired by the live action Ghost in the Shell. I made the mask a bit more minimalistic, a bit simpler. About the kimono, I loved that reference from Wong Kar-wai's The Grandmaster, where the actress Chang-Zi wears a black kimono with a great texture. I found it was feminine, martial, classy, elegant, a bit mysterious. I found that it conveyed everything that I needed, so I went with that design. The mechanical hands were a very important part because it had to convey both functionality and femininity. So I merged two ideas. The first one was the Terminator hands, because I found that it was very interesting how the hydraulics, the pneumatics, the electrics were intertwined inside the hand, but I found that it was very masculine, very aggressive, and I thought that the character was interesting because it was subtle. It's feminine, it's lurking in the shadows, so I thinned the fingers, I elongated the hand, and I added a top plate with a flower, and I thought it was an interesting touch because it was conveying that the creator of the AI had a very emotional relationship with its creation, and there was something happening here that wasn't just scientific. Something is happening between them. Designing the room was a big challenge because you don't want to go too far, and at the end of the day, the character, the AI, she's very powerful, she's almighty. So what room do you put God in, right? I think it has to remain very minimalistic because it's really about her. So I tried many options and I settled with a design that would resemble a ghost stone cut in half. Strongly inspired by Denis Villeneuve's Blade Runner, and that setup was interesting directing wise because you could place a camera everywhere and have that big brother-ish feeling, and you'll never really know in the film who's observing who. Obviously you're seeing her, but she's watching you too. So there's that kind of equilibrium in the framing that I really wanted to reach. Technically everything is done inside Blender except from the kimono, and this is why I started the production with the shots where she was moving inside the kimono. So I simulated a simple rig inside Blender, imported in Marvelous Designer, put a kimono model on her, tried to make it work with the animation. Obviously there were many bugs, physics, simulation that weren't working in the beginning, so I spent a few days on that. And when I had all the movement I needed, I re-imported into Blender for texturing. Regarding cinematography, I come from live action, real life filmmaking, so I found that the process in Blender is quite similar and gives you a lot of freedom. So it's really the opposite of the problems you have in real life. In real life, you're really limited by the budget. In Blender, you can do anything. So it's important I think, to have a clear vision because you can go too far quite easily, I think. So in my way of thinking the camera, I really wanted to make everything work inside Blender. So I have a very physical based camera. I really worked out the lensing, framing like I would have done in real life. The three main cinematographers I was interested in were Emmanuel Lubezki, Roger Deakins, and Hoyte van Hoytema, because I really love how they treat the story. They always convey the right emotion. I tried to limit the amount of lights. It was, I think, a process of simplification. So I spent 2 months and a half rendering all the shots. I was working on the shot on the day. At night, I would start a render, and when I woke up the next morning, I just rushed to my computer, see if everything had worked out. So I rendered everything out as EXR sequences, brought it into my editing software, DaVinci Resolve, placed it, retimed it, recut the film a bit, and then I integrated the sound. I was very happy with the job of Miho Ishizaki, who voiced the geisha. And then I picked up my phone and called my friend Matisse, who's a very good composer, and we started working on layers. In the first shot, we went with strong synthesizers because we really wanted to tell the story that it's a near future where capitalism has won and money was injected in the development of AI. And then when she reveals who she really is, the sound is based on choirs and acoustic elements because it's much more of a religious figure at that time in the movie. And it was the end of the 2 months and a half of production. I want to thank everyone for the very positive feedback we've been getting. It is truly motivating, and it was very interesting to see what different people would think of the film. Making the film required a very long discipline, so you can quite get a bit disoriented when you release it because you really don't know how it's going to work out. I'll be trying to carve time to make more films like Singularity. Have a great day.